Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to my Facebook page, Denise's Design Creations. I'm Denise, and I'd like to thank you very much for being here. As some of you know, my page is relatively new, and I'm trying to grow my viewership. And so if you wouldn't mind doing each of these things, I'd be most appreciative. Once you click on like, you can click on it again, and if you want, you can add me to your favorites, or I will just show up as a default in your timeline. Anyway, today I would like to bring you a couple of cards that I made. As some of you know, I've been experimenting with ink and with some rubbing alcohol, and I've been having so much fun doing that. These are some recent cards that I made, and if you go back and look at my timeline, in the Facebook page here, you can see how I made these and get better details on all of them. But today I was wanting to work with the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol and the re-inkers again. And so I created one card. This is the card that I created using the rubbing alcohol and the re-inkers. And it didn't quite turn out quite as dark as I wanted it to, so I thought I would give a try with our blending brushes. And I really like them both, but as you can see in this card, there's a little bit more striation in the coloring in the background, and this one is just more of a nice blended colors in there. For these two cards both, I used the So Saffron, the Cajun Craze, and the Poppy Parade stamping pads. And for the re-inker card, I used plain rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball along with drops of the re-inker fluid that is used to refill the pads. And that's how I came up with this effect. If you want to see more details about how to do that, you can look at the previous posts for the cards that I just showed you. But moving on to the card today, I love how this turned out. It's just so beautiful with that sunset in the background. And the stamp set that I used was the Grassy Grove stamp set. And I used that along with the Grove dies. As you can see, all the pieces are in there and more. And I love this forest die. This is what I created the card with, along with the smaller deer that are on this die set. So let me show you what I did. First of all, here's the card. I used the "sometimes you need to know that someone really cares" sentiment. This stamp set is also great as it contains a thank you, see the good. Sometimes you need to know that someone really cares, and then on the inside you could put that someone is me. Now I chose to put the sentiment on the outside, but it's up to you. I did use this image on the inside, so let me show you that. I just stamped along the bottom with one of our gray inks, and then I added one of the little deer on the inside to give it a little bit more design on the inside of the card. I really think it adds a lot. Another thing that I did, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, if you can see how I have added dimensionals to raise the forest from the deer. I'm hoping you can see the dimension to that a little bit. It's a little bit difficult to see on camera. I'll try to see if I can upload some photos for you. But anyway, let's get started and I'll show you how to actually create this card. So let me move my pieces out of the way. And let me get my glossy paper. Now the paper that you use to create this card is actually photo paper, just plain old regular photo paper. Stampin' Up! Used to sell a glossy cardstock, but we no longer carry that. So I'm simply using, this happened to have been an 8.5 by 11 sheet of photo paper, and I just cut it into 4 pieces. So they all now measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And after I color them, I'm going to cut them about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch smaller than the size that they are so that they will fit behind this cutout of the die cut that is the forest image. And that, if you can see, is actually 1/4 of an inch in. So the card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and the overlay is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and the sunrise or the sunset photo paper is a little bit smaller than the die cut so that it fits behind it without being seen from the front of the card. So anyway, so we'll take the photo paper and we set it on our surface here. And I'm going to get out the So Saffron ink and open that up. And I'm going to just take my blender brush, and as you can see, I'm just sort of rolling it on there. Now, I don't want to just stamp it right onto the paper because otherwise I'm going to get a dark spot there. So I'm going to start off I'm going to start off on my paper that's protecting my surface, and then I'm going to go onto the photo paper. So you can see how I'm doing that. And we'll just bring it in. Now it got a little darker on the edge, but that's okay because we're going to end up trimming this a little bit. Now you can see how the color, it's ever so slightly going onto the photo paper, but you can start to see that gradient look there. And this is the So Saffron. You want to start with your lightest color first. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm starting with the So Saffron, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up about halfway up the card because I do want the colors to overlap. So as you can see, it's getting a little bit darker and darker. And you can just make it as dark as you want. Now, I wanted the light at the bottom and the dark at the top. As you can see, I've got the So Saffron, and then I went to the Cajun Craze and the Poppy Parade to give it a sunset look, how the red glow, how that red in the sky glows in a real sunset. So there's the So Saffron. I've got that on there. I think that's heavy enough, so we'll close that up. And I'm going to just try to rub off as much of the ink as I can so that I don't transfer it to the next stamp pad. So the next stamp pad I'm going to use is the Cajun Craze. And we'll close that up. And we'll do the same thing. We just want to roll it. And then we're going to start off the page. And as you can see, it kind of got dark there. But we can always blend it in. And it blends around a little bit. Now, there might be a little bit of darkness here, but that's really just kind of how the sky is naturally. So we're going to rub it around. And I'm going to go off this side here and just rub and rub and rub. As you can see, kind of blend the two. Can you see how I'm doing that? Now it's not quite as subtle as this, but each card will turn out uniquely different, and that's okay. It's okay. It's just fun to experiment with the different colors and how they work together. Okay, lastly, we're going to use the Poppy Parade. We've got the Poppy Parade here. I'm going to turn it upside down so I can reach this side of the paper a little better. And I'm going to wipe that off as best I can. Now, these can just be cleaned with water once you're done. Our ink is water soluble, so most of the ink will come off. There will be some staining in your blending brushes, but that's okay. The ink won't transfer. Once it's washed and dried, you won't be able to see transfer of the old color on there. Now, I do have other brushes where I have them for each of the different colors of the stamps that I have, and I found these cute little markers on Etsy where this is actually like a little orange clip. A demonstrator that I used to see at convention all the time actually creates these little clips for the blending brushes. I believe she uses a 3D printer, but it's a great little tool to have so that when you're using your blending brushes in your craft room, you know just which one to pick up without having to pick up and examine every single brush. So let's keep going here. They were really very inexpensive and they just snap on, but it helps to identify what color your brushes are. So anyway, so there is the Poppy Parade on the top of the card, and you can see what beautiful colors those are. Now, if I wanted to, I can go back and I can kind of bring a little bit of the Poppy Parade down, and it's going to just color over the So Saffron just ever so slightly and give it a little bit more of a golden look instead of the yellow look. Let's close this up. And I happen to have a cutout here of the die, and so you can see how that's going to look. Now, see, doesn't that look great? You can see how it really looks like a sunset, and I can move it. I can kind of get an idea of where I want to cut the photo papers. You can see the photo paper is larger than this, and I want to cut the photo paper so that it's just a slight bit smaller than the die cut of the forest here. But if I want to have the sky redder, I can move it up, or if I want to have it to be a little bit lighter, excuse me, I can move it down. So we're gonna go with, we'll do it like that. Now, once I cut my photo paper and I used my dimensionals, I have the Stampin' Dimensionals. These are great. When I first became a demonstrator, I had somebody tell me, pop dot everything. Well, pop dotting everything means that you take these little foam pieces. They're ever so slightly thicker than maybe about 3 or 4 pieces of our cardstock. But what they do is they're going to elevate this forest off of the photo paper so that it looks like you're looking into the depth of the forest. And then once I have those together, you can see how I added the mother deer, and then I added her baby deer to the card to get the result that I did, like on this one. And as I said before, I went ahead and I stamped the inside of the card, added another one of the little deer, and I could either stamp another sentiment in here if I'd like, or I can write my handwritten note in there. So I hope you like that card. And again, it's a very fun technique to experiment with. And I have extras so I can play around a little bit more tonight, creating some more beautiful sunsets. And so I hope you enjoyed that tutorial of how to work with our blending brushes and our inks. And if you're interested in any of our products, you can go to my shopping link here, www.denisecassandra.stampinup.net. And for the month of October, the hostess code is this right here, BPJSSASH. And again, if you wouldn't mind doing each of these things to sprinkle out my page to other people, other crafters who might be interested in what I'm doing and what I'm showing. And if there's anything in particular that you'd like to learn how to do, just drop me a comment down below and let me know, and I can bring it to fruition. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you'll come back and watch for more videos in the future. I'm working on learning how to actually go live and do live streaming on my page, but for right now, I'm working with my phone and I'm creating a video and posting it up to my wall. So thank you very much. If you enjoy this, please like the button down below and pass it on to your friends. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.